This video is going to look at a couple of tokens that were given to me by request. I don't typically do requests just because it does take some time. I mean, I'm happy to do those when I do have time, and so I do have a little bit of time here this morning to take a look at Loopring and ICP. So Loopring and Internet Computer. We'll start with Loopring. Both of the coins, I'm looking at their Binance chart pair with USDT. So for Loopring, what I wanted to do first, I'm on the weekly chart for both of these. And what I wanted you to notice is that on the weekly chart with Loopring, we did have this low from June of 2020 taken out, but I'm not necessarily worried about that. Let me go to charts.cointrader.pro and just see. Let's go to that one. Coin market cap. Okay, yeah, that's what I wanted to see. I figured there was more chart history here. So yeah, good news is we haven't taken out that low there back in December of 2019. One would hope that we are finding a bottom here over the last couple of weeks and that we're going to start driving up here. With Loopring, it's hard to say exactly where this could go during the bull market. I don't know a lot about its fundamentals, so I'm just looking at the chart itself. What I would say is that probably in a market like we're currently in with bullish conditions, we could have a drive. The first area of interest that I would look at is this 80 cent area for Loopring, which would be, goodness, that would be a 7 or 8x. So that wouldn't be a bad move. You're going to probably face some resistance here at the 50 as well. If you notice the rejection back in March of 24, then also the rejection in February of 23, and then also that pivot in July of 22. So yeah, probably 50 is where I would look to take profits. So yeah, this is actually still in a good trade entry area. This would be a 4 to 5x trade opportunity. Beyond that, it's just hard to say where this could go. There's just so many tokens now. And again, I don't know a lot about the fundamentals of Loopring, but I'm just looking at it from a trade, over the next several months, what it could do. And I would say that conservatively, Loopring could do a 4 to 5x and hit this 50 cent area. Okay, on ICP, just my initial thoughts on that token. This is one I've followed in the past and also traded in the past. ICP is looking well. Let me go also on charts.cointrader.pro and see if there's any more market history on this one. No. Okay, so that gives us the whole history there from Binance. Beautiful. All right, so again on the weekly, I would love for us to, if this is a larger wave 1, and now ICP is going to start to put in its wave 3 here in the bull market, then we would want to start seeing prices up here in the $56 area. So that's about a 10x from here. We're going to have some resistance to get through. As you can see right here at around $14 or $15, there's your 200-week moving average that's starting to form based on the history of the token. This also is, again, a newer token. And then we, of course, would face probably a little resistance there at $21. But yeah, I think as far as just a trade setup, I think $56 on ICP would be a decent place to start looking. Maybe you want to be conservative and say 32, but I don't see why we could not reach 56 on ICP. And I do know a little bit more about this token. Has a very dedicated community. I think the fundamentals are pretty good on it. But again, there's just so many, it's tough for me to keep up with all the fundamentals. I really just look at the charts themselves. But yeah, it looks like we have a rounding bottom here on the weekly. And what I would love to see is increased weekly volume. I'd love to see weekly volume close here in the next 36 hours above that volume back at the beginning of June. You see that? So I'd love to see us coming up here into the $9.50 range. That'd be great to see a initial impulse there. So yeah, two good coins in very good value areas. Honestly, these haven't moved a lot yet. So why would you be chasing Stellar? Why would you be chasing XRP at this point when they've already pumped? Actually, Loopring and ICP would be two great great low risk setups right now. So those are just my initial thoughts. Obviously, if we start to get some action, we can come back and give those some updates. But yeah, ICP, maybe $50 to $56. And Loopring, I would say come up here to this 50 cent area and then let's reevaluate. All right, thanks.